Hello guys, martial art music art here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be uh, talking to you regarding my experience. Last 2 months ago, right, December 10, before Christmas, I was admitted in the hospital. I was at work at that time, and I started to develop chest pain, central chest pain. It's like a gripping pain, and I was ignoring it for a few hours. So I was continuing doing my job, right? And later during the day, it was getting worse, and it's radiating to my neck. And I find it's a very strange feeling. First time that I have that type of pain. And what I did, I asked my colleague to do an ECG for me. And he did an ECG, and I noticed that there was an elevation in V2, and there was a Q wave depression on the lead 3 in my ECG. And I wasn't worried at that time. It's because it's not predominant to the other leads. I mean, it's just two leads that I was concerned about. And what happened, I continued my job, and after lunch, I developed the severity of the pain. So I asked my coordinator if I could go down to emergency department and let one of the doctors check out my ECG. So when I approached one of the staff in the emergency department, she did an ECG one time and handed over to the one of the consultants, and then they started taking out my blood samples. They took some blood samples from me, and after that they put me in the cardiac bay, where I was monitored, and they hooked me up with the telemetry. And one of the senior doctor came in and asked me questions and stuff, explaining me about the ECGs, and after that she prescribed medication for the pain, which I was really surprised, because I was just thinking that the ECG or my condition wasn't that bad, right? And they gave me the medication for the pain, and after that, one of the senior nurse came in and told me that my troponin report was normal, so it wasn't elevated. But they said that they're going to transfer me to the Heart Institute in UK, here in UK. And I was blue lighted. I was, placed in an ambulance. I was so scared of really what's going on, because I was still under the influence of the medication that they gave me, the pain medications. So when I reached the Heart Institute, they placed me in cardiac care unit, and they continue my monitoring. They hooked me up with the telemetry, and the plan was to send me for a cardiac MRI and angiogram. But one of the registrar on duty at the time was a female doctor, did an echocardiogram on me, and she was saying that there is a left ventricular hypertrophy in my heart. So it worries me again. Pain is coming and going. It's not bad, but it's really uncomfortable. So they prescribed me a medication to go under my tongue and some paracetamol. And then I was sent up in one of the cardiac ward. So I stayed in CCU for, I think it was 2 days, 2 to 3 days, can't remember. And they sent me up to one of the cardiology ward, where I waited for my cardiac MRI and my angiogram. So to make the story short, all the tests was normal, they say. They only find small abnormalities in my heart, which is the um, dilatation of the aortic root and some left ventricular hypertrophy or things like that. So one of the cardiologists was speaking to me and he was asking me questions, and I overheard him talking to the junior doctors and the senior doctors about Brugada syndrome. He said that he noticed a tracing of my heart that looks like it's a Brugada syndrome. I don't know. That was the first time that I heard that syndrome or that disease. So, and then the cardiologist was asking me if I have a family who died unexplained death. So I told him, yes, my grandfather, who is the father of my mother, died at the age of I think it was 50s, like 51, 52, 53, things like that. And my mother died at the age of 43. Right, and they said that they're gonna refer me to the electrophysiologist, and they're gonna do a precordial ECG, which is basically it's a diagnostic for Brugada syndrome. Now, so the consultant from electrophysiology saw me. There were two of them. I forgot the name of the young one. He said that the ECG tracing, the precordial leads ECG that was done, he said that I have a Brugada tracing, so I should be very careful with the medications. Not, I should refrain from taking alcohol, not to take certain medications, and make sure that I control my body heat, like fever. If I will get fever, then I have to control it. I have to take paracetamol. I think paracetamol is the safest medication for it. So from that day on, I started to worry about myself. I know that there is a structural I don't have to say structural abnormalities, but I will just say that my heart is normal, right? And the only thing that I am worried about is the electrical impulses or the electrical conduction of my heart that might cause me to have a sudden, you know what I mean. It is because it shaded some light on me, because I've been experiencing this experience of arrhythmias since I was young, right? I had a history of syncope at the age of 20 when I did my training in the military reserve. So we did an endurance run and I blacked out. That was the only thing. So I was just thinking it was just vasovagal syncope. And but from that day on, I've been experiencing some palpitations, and when in fact at the age of 26, I was diagnosed by one of our doctor back in the Philippines that I have a high blood pressure. My blood pressure went up to 187 something, 187 over 120. So he prescribed me with atenolol. That's to control my heart and my blood pressure. That's what he told me. And he sent me for a test, the Holter and the echocardiogram. And the Holter, he said that he's been so surprised that my heart rate during the night is 122. So it shaded the light of all these questions that I've got ever since when I was started to experience this condition, because all the tests they say is all normal. But it worries me because I am in the age brackets. Like my mother died at 43, my granddad, who is the father of my mother, died at the age of 53, 52. And he was a healthy man. I mean, he was USAFE, a military medic, and his physique is good. I mean, he's not drinking any alcohol or cigarettes. You know, he didn't smoke, but he died suddenly. I mean, nobody could explain it during the time. So that worries me so much. And after that, from that day on, when that cardiologist, electrophysiologist told me that I have Brugada, I cannot sleep. I am afraid to go to sleep. It's so much. It's too much for me. And I did some research. I read books and I watch YouTube, and I listened to Joseph Brugada lectures about Brugada syndrome. I think Joseph was one of the doctor who discovered this syndrome. That's why the syndrome is under their name. So it was Pedro and Joseph. So Joseph Brugada went to Qatar and he did a convention there. So it's all about the Brugada syndrome, and I was really happy upon hearing on him regarding the categories, like, you know, the high risk, the low risk, the intermediate risk of the condition. And he said that the only solution to this is the implanted cardioverter device. And yeah, until now, I'm waiting for my electrophysiologist. It's already February 3, and I'm still waiting for my electrophysiologist to come and see me. And before I was discharged, he was saying that Brugada doesn't give you chest pain, and Brugada don't attack when you are active. It attacks while you're sleeping. It keeps on coming into my brain. That's why I'm so scared to sleep. I'm very anxious, and yeah. So I need help, right? Which my GP was doing it, and yeah, he enrolled me to the sleep station, and we have a staff support in our institution. So I was calling them. I talked to one of them and stuff like that. It eased up my worries a little bit, but you cannot really prevent it of recalling what is going to happen to you. You know, it's very hard, and yeah. So what I am doing right now, still getting these symptoms of palpitations during nighttime, and in fact, I had my iWatch, and it monitors, it captures my ventricular ectopics. I sent it to my GP, and I think my GP sent it to the cardiologist, and they said that they are going to prescribe me some medication to calm down the heart. Which it did. It's really helping as well, and it makes me calm. You know, medication that also makes me calm, so I don't panic. And you know, occasionally, sometimes, you know, I do, because you know, when you remember all these things, like, you know, something will happen to you, then of course you won't be happy. All right, guys. So I think I have said enough. So I will just update you what is going to happen next. Right, so I'm hoping for all your prayers about me, right? And God is good, and maybe, you know, he do this for a reason. Thank you for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Press the thumbs up button and the notification sign so that you will be aware, or you will be notified once I will upload next video next to this video. Okay, so thank you very much, and bye bye.